Hello and welcome everyone. I hope this message finds you fit and fine. In previous lecture, we were discussing UPSC. Now it's time for SPSC, State Public Service Commission. In our Constitution, Part 14, Article 315 to 323 talks about provisions related to UPSC as well as SPSC. So SPSC is a constitutional body, a state level recruiting agency, right? Starting from composition. Our constitution has not mentioned specifically how many members are there going to be in SPSC. So the decision is taken by governor on the advice of Council of Minister of State, right? Chairman is appointed by governor, right? On the advice of Council of Minister at the level of state, right? And that maximum age can be 62 years and time is 6 years. In case of UPSC, when chairman was getting appointed, time period was maximum 6 years. But maximum age was 65 years. So it's the difference. Now, when it comes to qualification, so Constitution has not specified qualification, okay? But at least half of the members should be from central government or state government, should have at least worked for 10 years. In case chairman's position remains vacant, for example, death happens or removal happens. So in this case, acting chairman is going to be appointed by governor. Now, please remember, in case of SPSC, appointments are being done by governor, right? Governor of that state. But when it comes to removal power is in the hands of president. And this is a difference. Removal. So who is going to do the removal? President is going to do the removal. Okay. So this is an exception. If I make a statement, governor of a state can suspend or has power to suspend member of SPSC or chairman of SPSC. Tell me that statement would be correct or not, true or false? Answer is true, because here I use the word suspension. Suspension is temporary. For example, if removal proceeding means if a matter with respect to removal of SPSC member or chairman is with president and president has referred this misbehavior case to the Supreme Court. So meanwhile, governor has power to suspend that SPSC member or chairman. Suspension is temporary, right? Removal power is in the hands of president. I hope now you will remember it, right? If he is adjured insolvent, like in case of UPSC we discussed, there are 4 cases of removal. Number 1, if the concerned member or chairman is proved to be insolvent, that person's debts are so high that known source of income won't be sufficient to actually pay back, right? So there can be a case of corruption as well in future. So this person cannot be trusted, right? This can be a ground. Second, if that person engages into employment other than this, paid employment, this can be a case. If that person's mind or body is not serving, right? So it means person is not capable to do that job. So it means insolvency, employment, and infirmity of mind or body, right? Apart from that, the last case, that is misbehavior. What is misbehavior is not defined by our constitution. So in this case, president has to refer this matter to the Supreme Court. And whatever advice Supreme Court gives, that advice is binding on president. Some students, when reading Lakshmikant, they get confused here. If the Supreme Court after the inquiry upholds the cause of removal and advises so, the president can remove the chairman or a member. So some students think, oh, the word can is there. So it means advice may be binding or not. No, advice is binding. If you read after that, you will find in the second or third line that such advice is binding. Now, independence. First is, you cannot remove SPSC member or chairman apart from these 4 reasons. Means there is security of tenure, right? So one is security of tenure, then comes the financial part, right? So you cannot change the, you can say, conditions of service when that person is there. For example, if CM is saying appoint this person and in this position, and SPSC member chairman said no, we are people of integrity and we cannot appoint as this person has not cleared the exam and we are not going to give undue favor anywhere in interview as anything. So now, so if this protection is not given, don't you think independence can be compromised, right? There can be a possibility that service conditions may be changed of that person, right? So now service conditions cannot be changed. You can actually work with full independence, honesty. Expenses are charged on Consulate Fund of India. Means they are not going to put to vote in state legislature again and again every year. Now, there are two statements and questions are asked from these two statements. So please read them carefully. The chairman of SPSC on ceasing to hold office is eligible for the appointment for the post of chairman or a member of UPSC. Okay. So chairman of SPSC cannot be reappointed on the same position. Number one. If you are a chairman of SPSC of Uttar Pradesh, you cannot be, after completing the tenure, you cannot be again appointed for the same position. But you can be appointed as UPSC member or UPSC chairman. A member of the UPSC or the chairman of the other SPSC, but not any other employment. Means you can be means SPSC chairman can become member or chairman of UPSC, can become chairman of any other SPSC. Means you cannot be on same position, but you can actually become chairman of Rajasthan Public Service Commission. Okay, if you were earlier of Uttar Pradesh, but not any other employment under the government of India or state. But you cannot be appointed in any other job under government of India or state. Okay, any job, no. And you can actually pursue your career later as a, say, private academician. That is your will. But you cannot serve in any other job under government of India or state. Clear? The chairman or a member of SPSC is, after having completing his first term, not eligible for reappointment for the same position. I have already told you this. Okay. Now functions. Number one is conduct the examination, right, for the state level exam. It is consulted on the matters related to personal management. What are personal management? For example, method of recruitment. For example, principles of promotion and transfer. Now, there can be a beautiful trap from this particular statement. UPSC might ask, in case of transfer of state government employees, it is mandatory on the government to consult SPSC. Okay. So if someone has read this and not understood it completely, the principle to be followed making appointment of civil service of the post in making promotion and transfer, that person might think, oh, I've read the transfer there. No. It is not saying that you need to consult SPSC for transfer. It is just saying principles to be followed, principle formulation. In that, you can say SPSC can play a role. Okay, but it's an advising body. Okay, playing on principles, not a regular transfers. Any claim for reimbursement of legal expense, for example, a state level government employee is facing some, say, charges and there is court case going on, and this court case going on is in official capacity because some decision was taken by that person. So in this case, the person can say these legal expenses, please give me. Okay. Apart from this, if that person actually suffers some injury during the service, wants some pension, other benefits, so this kind of mechanism can also be suggested by SPSC. Supreme Court has held that if government fails to consult SPSC in these matters which we discussed, personal management matters, the aggrieved public servant has no remedy in the court. So a direct statement wise question can be asked. So this can be a statement. Okay. So SPSC need to be consulted, but if SPSC is not consulted, then you cannot go to court. Why SPSC was not consulted? Now, limitations. Same in case of UPSC, for example, in case of reservation for backward classes, it is not mandatory that you need to consult SPSC. In case of some claims which are leveled by SCs and STs, then also this SPSC can be excluded. Governor can also exclude SPSC in certain cases, service matters. But in such case, what you need to do, you need to present such proposals before state legislature, and state legislature can amend them or repeal them. These provisions are same as in case of UPSC. This power was with president there. Okay. Now role. So it is concerned with recruitment, right? Watchdog of merit system at state, like watchdog of merit system at India level, right? In case of UPSC. Not concerned with classification of service, pay, service conditions, cadre management. These things are not under SPSC. This is the limitation, because these things are taken care of by different department of personnel, right, which is responsible for cadre management and training, etc. Recommendations made by SPSC are advising in nature, means not mandatory. There is also a limitation. SPSC is consulted by governor for framing the rules, for example, Provincial Judicial Civil Service, PCSJ, Provincial Civil Service Judicial. So in this case, governor may consult SPSC that you have to conduct the exam, but we need to take High Court in the loop, because High Court is having the power, right? SPSC is just an exam conducting agency and High Court is going to suggest that. So we are talking in case of Provincial Civil Service Judicial, right? PCSJ. Now let's discuss the case of JPSC. So JPSC is not a constitutional body, it's a statutory body. Please understand, remember this, because there can be a question statement there. Can be created by an act of parliament, that's why we are saying it's a statutory. Request of the state legislatures concerned. If two state legislatures say to the parliament that we are not having capacity to conduct our own recruitment and that is why we want support of center, in this case an act can be made for actually making JPSC. Now, in case of SPSC, appointment was being done by governor, removal was being done by president. But in case of JPSC, although it is going to serve those two states or more than that, but in case of appointment as well as removal is done by president. But in case of age 6 years, 62 years, that is same as in case of SPSC. I hope you'll remember that, right? JPSC presents its annual performance report. Now, in case of SPSC, that is going to present its annual performance report before governor, and governor is going to present before state legislature. But if there is one JPSC for two states, so where this particular JPSC is going to present its report? It is going to present to the both governors, and then governors are going to present into respective state legislatures. Report to each of the concerned state governors. Each governor places the report before the state legislature. Now, so sometimes one statement is made from historical context. It was in Government of India Act 1935 that it was clearly mentioned that there will be a federal Public Service Commission, which took the shape of UPSC later. There will be provincial service commissions, means state public service commissions, and there was also mention of joint public service commissions for 2 or more states. Okay, this is a fact. Now these are the articles 315 to 323 which talks about UPSC and JPSC, SPSC. Now attempt this question. On which among the following matters in the State Public Service Commission not consulted? Not, okay. Method of recruitment of civil service in the state is consulted. On the principle followed in making appointment for civil service state, principle, yes. On the principles to be followed in making of promotion, yes, principles, fine. Making transfer of civil servant, no, and that is why it is not consulted. D would be the answer. A member of State Public Service Commission may be removed by governor, no, governor, no, governor, no, because you know that SPSC members are removed only by president, right? In case of misbehavior, inquiry need to be conducted by Supreme Court, right? Joint Public Service Commission may be established for 2 or more states. If respective states agree in this regard, Parliament appoint JPSC Commission by law. Both are correct, A and B, right? So I hope now this topic is clear to you, right? So if you want to connect with me, you can connect on this Instagram handle. If you have any doubt, I'll be more than happy to help you out. Take care.